Hi, everybody. I'm here once again with Belinda Womack. This is a really interesting one because it was actually Belinda's guides who woke up and the angels said, you know what? We're very concerned with the craziness going on your planet right now. Can you ask Regina if she can engage us on some questions about some of the conspiracies and various theories going on around right now that are causing a lot of despair and confusion on the planet? So Belinda gave me a call. I said, heck yeah, let's do this thing. Hi, Belinda.
Hi, Regina.
Welcome. This is a little different. This is the first time they've said, hey, we need to talk to you guys. They
And
made the request.
they sure did.
What happened? Because you were actually you have your bi-monthly live channelings for your master classes and the people within your community. And tell us what happened that really gave rise to concern for the angels that they requested we do this together.
So I put out to the group, if you have something that you want the angels to address, please email me. And I was surprised, and then the angels were not surprised, that some of those questions were really intensely loaded with fear. And negative about, that people are going to be locked up and forced to take vaccines that could be harmful. And so they addressed those two items, and they basically said, you get to experience your own reality on Schoolroom Earth. This is Schoolroom Earth. It's really your choice. We are here, meaning the 12 archangels, we are here to encourage you to work with the power of love, to choose love, to focus your incredible, brilliant minds on the reality that you want to live in, that you want to create. And that helps all concerned. So as an example, they said, instead of seeing all vaccines as deadly, how about you put your energy into prayer that your scientists have created a one-of-a-kind, miraculous vaccine, or that they do create that causes no harm. It only causes help and a sense of security. And the angels added, we understand that some of you are not going to take that vaccine and that you want it to be your choice. So hold that intention that that's what you want to experience. But there are masses of human beings who are going to take this vaccine. So how about you put your love and your power and your intention, powerful beings, into the intention that the vaccine works and that it does not cause harm and that it makes your world a better place. And then they just emphasize again, it's all your choice. So the point they were trying to make is, how are you going to use your energy? What are you going to focus on? It's all, you don't have to take anything you don't want to take. But hey, how about working with the power of love? We understand fear is so very entertaining.
Indeed. And I think the problem most people have with that, and I think I have already written up kind of 9 popular concerns and conspiracy theories that are prevalent right now. I could write a list of probably 100, but we're only confining it to what's happening right now, and people seem to be engaging in a lot of fear over. And a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, will have to do with the vaccine. So it might be that you've already answered the question, but it might be there are also nuances there that would be worth exploring. So I also want everybody to know, the reason they ask that you have me do it is because this isn't your world. You do not live in a field of conspiracy theory. You're with little prisms and angels and crystals and kitty cats. You know, that's your world. You don't know anything about this stuff, so you wouldn't know which questions to even ask. So therefore, they're going to me, who kind of has her feet on the ground and the grid of the world a little bit more than you. And that's why they asked me to do this with you. So do you want to go ahead and dive into them now, Belinda, and bring,
Let's
as you
do
say,
it.
the big guys in?
Yeah, they're here.
Okay, I'll let you do your transition, and then I will start with the first question.
Regina, we are the 12 archangels of the central sun. And we cannot express our infinite gratitude for your assistance. We just want to give humanity a taste of truth. They may want to add salt and pepper or even some vinegar. But what we will guarantee is truth from heaven. And so we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for availing yourself to us and coming into this energy field, because I know you can feel how incredibly chaotic and fear-ridden the world is right now. And I don't mean just the US, but the entire world. We're just a focal point. And so I'm going to be asking some questions that have to do with the COVID virus. And also I'll be asking questions that are a little more fearful in terms of geopolitics and about players individually. And so let me go ahead and begin with one that has to do with COVID. Many people in the conspiracy communities feel that COVID was designed and perpetuated to start a top-down control system that would allow all of the governments of the world to, in tandem, roll out a protocol which keeps people at home, literally keeps people engaging with other people. So now that we're confined, so we can't have human contact, and starts literally diminishing the world around us financially. Now, I don't quite understand what the good in that would be, but this is a concern that it is a program to isolate people and keep them from movement and keep them from exchange with each other, commerce, etc. So first, you want to comment about the notion of a worldwide, well-executed agenda that literally controls the people of the planet. That's the greatest fear of some.
We say, use your common sense, humanity. This does not make good common sense. Your people have the power. Each of you get to create your own reality on schoolroom Earth. This is the way your schoolroom was designed. The only top-down that could happen is through truly your own fears, your own shadows, your own egos. Because what you're really asking is angels and ascended masters and guides in heaven. Are there people or entities or aliens that control me, that control all of us? And we say, if you believe that that is true, then potentially you can experience that. We say to you, there is no one group of people, no one group of world leaders that has this intention. Because everyone right now on your planet is just trying to survive the confusion and trying to figure out, who am I in this story? So, to be direct, that theory is nonsense.
I would have to agree with that because we just don't have the ability to organize to that extent as human beings. It's just,
We agree.
it's not in us. But what has been happening, and the reason the fear has been propagated, is because of our various media outlets, both kind of the official called mainstream media and also the ones that are popping up around on the internet. And so I want to ask you a question about the most prominent of those because they've had a very large impact on the psyche of America. And this is a group, shall we say, that's anonymous that calls themselves QAnon. And a story was created there that has ultimately created extreme division in the thinking of the people on the planet and the belief systems. Can you comment on this group of entities that comprise what is called QAnon?
Well, we say, Regina, that most of what comprises QAnon are some human egos that are out of balance. So you see, the human ego gets to experience whatever it wants to on schoolroom earth. And the further that it moves away from soul, the more power hungry it becomes. And where is it going to get this power? Well, if it's moved away from soul, the power is not coming from love, it will come from fear. Every movie that human beings have created that is fearful or loaded with this enemy taking over that enemy, it's still hanging out in the astral filter. So these human egos that are quite out of balance, they receive their information from fear and from that which is not true. But you see, it makes them feel powerful. These are people that have never felt powerful. And oh my goodness, the world is listening to them. You see, fear is very entertaining. And something else about human beings, perhaps not you, but many human beings, they want to believe that they are victims, that they have no power, that if they do what this group tells them, or this religion tells them, or this powerful person tells them, that they will be protected and safe. And we say to all human beings, you are children of the Creator. What energy do you choose to use? If you choose to use love and acceptance and respect for all concern, you will live a different life than if you buy into fear. If you buy into QAnon, because they thrive on fear and they thrive on having power over you. Is this what you want? It is your choice. What we encourage you to do is send love to this group. Fill up from source, be a flowing fountain of love, and just focus the love power and say, QAnon, you are a part of divine oneness, and I fill you with love and highest truth, and I thank you for showing me the choice that I have. We are angels and ascended masters, you know. We are going to encourage you to choose love because it works. It brings you abundance and good health and friendship, and it helps doors to reopen instead of creating more separation. Only egos can create separation, not hearts. What do you want to experience?
That is so beautiful. Thank you for that, and so true. Only egos can create separation, not hearts. I think that's a big one for us to take away. And on continuing for a moment on QAnon, I once interviewed a man who was a spy from the former spy from the Soviet Union and has that kind of mind, and asked him his opinion on what was happening. And he said a very similar thing. He said, these people are having a great amount of entertainment at your expense. And there have even been some thoughts that they had some information coming in from perhaps intelligence agencies. Now, I don't know if they're that powerful and have that infusion, or it's just the former, where there are these young men, a couple have been identified, having fun at our expense, or gaining power and ego boosting at our expense. Is there any other kind of outside feeding of this, or is it just these guys?
Let us examine that for you. From our perspective, there are, and understand, we do not believe in hierarchy, but on your earth, there's definitely hierarchy in positions of power within the government. There is a handful, no, not even a handful, 2 or 3 human beings that are at a very low level of power, and they are not privileged to classified information at all, and they are having great fun with this. They are actually playing a video game with humanity. We wish we had better words to try to describe this for you, Regina, but it is some young men that see this as a game, and they are enjoying the game, and it is becoming real to them, because on earth your thoughts manifest your reality. So we thank you for bringing this to our awareness, and what we can do is we can fill all of these young men and young women that have their masculine out of balance. We can fill them with Archangel Michael's sapphire blue flame of truth and awareness, so that perhaps they can wake up and realize that what they are playing with is not helpful. It's dangerous. And we are hopeful that with awareness, that they will wake up and choose love. Many battles on Schoolroom Earth actually began as a game. Most human beings do not understand, because this has been erased from the history books. But it is true. All wars, from our perspective, actually began as a game, as a power struggle, as conspiracy theories and lies and deception. And so we just say, it is up to you, but we encourage you. If it does not feel like love, then it's fear. Why believe fear? Why believe it? We hope we have answered your question.
You have very well. I thank you for that. And that brings us to another knocked on effect, you might say, and that is that because people are looking for meaning, they're looking to have something that creates cohesion in their belief systems in life. And because so many of these kinds of groups have sprung up and are filling some kind of void of spirit, we now are in what many are calling a post-truth world, where there is no objective reality, so to speak. It's anyone's opinion. And it's interesting because you keep saying that we are here each creating our own movie, each creating our reality on earth. How do these two meet up? Where, yes, we have the power and are doing it every thought to create a reality, but still have it work within the context of some objective truth that we can agree on together or run our societies by, for example, or make decisions based upon. It seems that truth has simply vanished.
We love this question. First of all, truth has not been lost. What is happening on Schoolroom Earth is that the subconscious within each human being is being purged. So all of the confusion of the Dark Ages, of Lemuria, Atlantis, all the ancient times of religion, all of the times that human beings have walked on the planet and have given their power over to fear, it's up. It is rising, and it's going to continue to rise in vibration. Humanity's vibration is rising. And this is where truth comes in. For you see, truth on Schoolroom Earth gets to have lots of different vibrations. You can take a sentence that has one word of truth in it, and the rest of the sentence is pure nonsense. It depends on what you read from the sentence that you choose to believe. So we say that for those of you who have ears that can hear, hold the intention and pray for good common sense to flow over the minds of every human being, for good common sense to wake up in those who are sound asleep, for good common sense to ring true, to give you goosebumps, to give an expanded, big, deep yes within. What is common sense? It is when the highest vibration of the intuition is connecting with the logic and reason of your analytical brain, and they light up and they say, yes, this is truth. And it is happening. And we thank you for this opportunity to say, it is happening. It is up to you to believe that this is a post-truth era. We encourage you to see this as truth is rising up out of the lies, up out of the fear. Ask to feel the truth within your gut, within your bones, and honor it.
A big thank you for that. I don't think it could have been stated better. And one of the things you mentioned there is really powerful, and that is that the subconscious mind is now being awakened again, that it's really starting to add its pronounced effect in our life from past traumas. And so I would like to ask you about that effect concerning pandemics specifically, because it was about 100 years ago we went through the last major pandemic, which was followed by a monetary downturn, then followed by a little bit of fun and then a big crash. So people have a lot of concerns around this. So what is coming up in our collective auras surrounding pandemics of the past, and how might that be driving the fear right now, specifically regarding pandemics and what we're willing to believe and not believe surrounding them?
We answer this question again from our perspective, where fear does not exist. What is purging from the subconscious in any pandemic or plague is that human beings become afraid of other human beings, forgive Belinda. When human beings are afraid of one another, they begin to suspect that they will be harmed. They might be infected. They might die. Now, we say there really is a virus, and there really was one in 1917, 18 in Earth's history. But if you look at it, is that humanity, the collective, is creating a global reality for the purpose of learning and growing, then humanity would see that the pandemic is an opportunity to respect each other. For you see, your thoughts and your feelings are very contagious, and when they are negative and fearful, they are viral and they are harmful. So to wear a mask as what is required or asked for in pandemics, what this is really about is to bring your awareness back into your own being and say, what am I putting out there? What kind of thoughts and feelings and beliefs are riding around within my vessel that could be harmful? Viruses are just external mirrors of negative thoughts, beliefs, and feelings on the inside. Your earth works as a perfect mirror. This particular virus is a man-made virus. It's a bit of biological warfare and a big mistake and clumsiness and a dash of divine order, if you ask us. It has the potential to serve the purpose for individual human beings to say, I want to care about others. And I can't guarantee that I'm not infectious. So I'm going to respect that for now. And it's also an opportunity for human beings to really get in touch with what matters to them. Are you robots just surviving? Or are you divine beings that choose to thrive? Who are you? This is what a pandemic asks for you to take a look at.
I hope you're enjoying this video, because if you are, there are dozens more like it on my site, all supported by people like you. So if you'd like to keep this work rolling in and join our community, just click on the Patreon button at reginameredith.com. That also gives you access to insider commentary, my live book club, and other live events with special guests. So join in. Thanks.
You spoke a moment ago about, are you robots? And this brings me the next question. One of the things that people have been concerned about, which is one of the conspiracy theories, is that the vaccine programs that will be coming up, which perhaps a majority of people around the planet will participate in of their own volition, has a new kind of artificial intelligence embedded within it. That this nanotechnology has the ability to feed back information from inside the human body to central computers, thus monitoring everything going on in a person and being able to, two-way street, to be able to also control certain of the body's processes and such. And this is a fear of people, in particular conspiracy communities that are very concerned about artificial intelligence. Can you answer that for us, please?
We would like to answer this from a higher vibration, Regina, because you see, no matter how we answer this question, those that believe that this nanotechnology exists, they believe it. They fiercely believe it. We could say, you human beings, you've psychically controlled one another since you first stepped foot on schoolroom earth. You don't need nanobots to do it, but we will leave that aside. What we say is to use the power of love within you. And with your creative imagination, that is your central computer. And it connects with the central computer, metaphorically, of the central sun or the universe. Take the vaccine with your intention. Connect with it energetically. Oh, yes, you can. Put it in violet fire, the energy of your crown chakra, or put it in the entire rainbow of God's divine love. But fill it with love. Shift any negative energy, vibration, potential, or atoms that you believe might exist there. Shift it. For you see, this is an older science than putting artificial intelligence into a vaccine. Put love in there and hold the intention that vaccines, like the people that are going to receive them, are innocent and pure. We understand that we are not tackling this question directly, but we do add this one bit from our perspective. Who's going to pay for nanobots and vaccines? Who's going to pay for this? Who wants to pay for it? Those on your planet that have the money, they only want more money because they are hungry, many of them, not all of them, starving for love, starving for something. Money is a substitute for that. Do they really want to control the world and withhold the money? We believe not. For money continues to feed their emptiness, and this is why they crave more of it. And we say this is only true for those egos that are very removed from their hearts, from their souls. Again, human beings, you're divine. Plug into your hearts. Fill these vaccines with truth, with healing, with love, with the power of the central sun. Do not give your power to fear. Do not give your power to fear. That only costs you money. It costs you joy. It costs you health. And it costs you enjoying fine dining.
Indeed. That was a very profound thing we just touched on there, because there have actually been a couple of, I cannot recall their names right now, studies done where people had taken vaccines and applied their minds and their thoughts to the reversal of any potential symptoms that they should have created, and were successfully able to neutralize any kind of harmful effect from the vaccines. I'll try to find that, but I don't recall the study right now. And we know from so many accounts that people have been able to reverse things in their bodies, for example, that were considered to be fatal, where there have been miraculous healings. Everybody knows of these things. And so I think it's so beautiful that you pointed out that if for some reason, if you're a medical worker, for example, and you're required to take a vaccine, but you don't want to because your work requires it, to understand that to enfold it in this light, in this prayer, so to speak, that you just spoke of, in the rainbow, that this is harmless and surrounded in love. There's no reason our cells shouldn't take it up that way, right? I mean, that's what you just said, right?
that is exactly, precisely, and accurately what we have just said.
I just wanted to reiterate it because that is very powerful and necessary for us to keep in mind. Our minds have effects on the cells of our bodies, and we can treat them however we wish. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to get into a couple of very specific conspiracy theories, and that has to do with probably a good half of this country, say a quarter to 50% of the United States, that now believes it's been suggested to them through some of these information streams that our new president, Joe Biden, is a member of the power elite, the deep state, and these are satanic worshipers and pedophiles. This has actually become common thinking in the United States. It's even made it onto mainstream news. So we can't ignore these thoughts. Can you please comment on this? Because this is creating a great deal of fear in people.
From our perspective, and hear us out, we see this, it is not true, but we see this as miraculous purging of the human collective of its incredible fear that was crystallized in the belief that human beings are evil, that they are satanic, that they come from the devil instead of coming from the Creator, coming from Source. So the human beings where this is being purged, this very, very old religious nonsense that human beings can be satanic and evil and attack beautiful children, which really is symbolic for destroying that which is innocent, that this is being projected onto your president incumbent in the United States, from our perspective, says it is being released from the deep subconscious. Now, since you have opened, shall we say, this can of worms, pedophilia comes from child abuse that happens over and over and over and over again. There is not one pedophile on Schoolroom Earth that was not molested or harmed sexually as a child himself or herself. So again, from our perspective, we see this as a healing. We see this as the truth that this is not who you are. You are all innocent children. Pedophilia is rooted in the repression of the human sexual expression. It is not really, and we do not wish to add confusion, it's not about children. It's about trying to take the innocence away that was stolen from the perpetrators themselves. So, your mission has the strength to rise above this.
Please say this again. There was a little block on the words you said. Your who has the strength to rise above this?
Your Mr. Biden has the strength to rise above this. He has the strength to hold in his own integrity and morality. From our perspective, it is very easy to discern by looking in someone's aura, and definitely from looking in someone's eyes. You can tell who is a perpetrator and who is not. And we say, look in this man's eyes. His soul is clear. Does he have an ego? Yes, of course. Is he involved in politics? Yes, of course. Is he satanic? Absolutely not. but take the word and understand that it means fear. It means separation, and bring in love. And if you are concerned that Mr. Biden or anyone that he is choosing lacks in integrity or love, then ask Divine Source to fill them up with exactly what you believe they are missing. Change your world by bringing in what you perceive is missing. You do not need to be a victim of any kind of satanic, which just means fear. Nonsense. You came here. You signed up to come to Schoolroom Earth to learn about love. You came here to learn how to use the power of love. You might want to try using it. This is our perspective. You get to believe whatever you choose to believe.
Thank you for shining a light on one of the most challenging subjects on earth, and that is the abuse of children. And what you say brings hopefully some light and even compassion to this situation, which has played out throughout our human history of losing connection with Source and trying to take the light and brilliance and innocence of another to compensate for that, and especially that which has been done to us. And I very much appreciate you're talking about a very, very tender, challenging subject for humanity. Thank you for that. One other conspiracy that is out there that is causing a great deal of concern, because it appears there has been some science that has been studied around it, so I'll frame it that way, is the notion of what the installation of 5G technology is going to do to us on a health level in terms of our cellular health and our mental functioning and so forth. If you can comment on that, please.
We say that 5G to the masses of humanity is not healthy. We do not tell you anything that your common sense does not validate. However, that does not mean that you have to allow it to destroy you. Just like there are many toxins all over your planet is quite rich in toxins at this point of time. What you can choose to do is to fill your cells with the energy of the central sun. For you see, this reality is also something you are dreaming into being. The external toxins, including 5G, is a mirror of the mental and emotional toxins going on within you. For you are actually immortal beings. You come to this school for a short amount of time and then you leave. So what we recommend is that you, first of all, you hold the prayer or intention that the world discovers quickly that the consequences of 5G technology are too expensive. You see, one of the positives of the pandemic is that the entire world is waking up that perhaps medical care does matter. Perhaps it does matter to care for one another. So if you hold the intention that the truth is revealed, that the consequences of 5G are too expensive, that would be wise. And then fill up with the energy of the central sun. That is one thing. And spend time in nature. For Mother Nature, Archangel Gaia herself, will ground out all 5G and electromagnetic pollution within your being. Go take a walk among the trees. Curl your toes in the sand, and you will be safe. Oh, yes, you will be.
I love that. That's something we all have control over. And it's also something beautiful that feeds every aspect of ourselves. And I just want to say, when you were talking about this technology being a reflection of our own out of balance energies, emotions, and mind, that's true. 5G represents, for people that are waiting for it to come and signing up and even willing to pay a little more for it, it's a mental craving for more, for better, for faster, all of the things which have brought us to this point. So it's kind of a wonderful example of how our own out of balance thinking and emotions have brought this technology to a neighborhood near us. So I really appreciate your stating it that way, and more so that nature itself can essentially balance it right out of us. So on that note, I think we've covered quite a few of the probably most prominent conspiracies that are out there right now. And I think I really appreciate the balanced and beautiful answers you've given. And I'd like to ask if there's anything else that you see that's in the wind of the collective mind that I have failed to ask, and then maybe speak to that before we bring Belinda back.
What we would like to add is that we are alarmed, and your English language is sometimes limiting because we are seen as beings that are not supposed to be alarmed, but yet we love you and we serve you and we exist to help raise up the fear with you, not outside of you, within you and all around you. So we are alarmed that many of you who understand the power of love, for you agreed to come back at this time and teach the power of love, you are being seduced by conspiracy theories. And we just ask to bring this to your awareness. This happened at the end of Lemuria and at the end of Atlantis. There is no end in sight at this point of Schoolroom Earth's creation, rebirth, transformation. But we say to you, take a violet fire skillet to your head. Wake up. Choose love. You can read all the conspiracy theories and you can learn all about the fear and the control. But ultimately, remember, you came in to teach, to lead, to hold the torch, to carry the lantern. Call back your power. Call back your power, mystic ones. And teach the love that you came here to teach. This is our call to action for you. Where there is fear, do not allow yourself to believe that you are the victim. And do not allow yourself to believe that any government or world organization has more power than your own heart. We thank you, Regina. We must bring Belinda back now.
Thank you so much from all of us, from the bottom of our hearts.
I think I've been plugged into 5G.
You're having a hard time coming back this time. You know, I'm trying to imagine that violet fire skillet pan we're supposed to bop ourselves with. That's a good one. We all need a bop. That was beautiful, honey. Thank you so much. I think that there was such grace and truth and also care embedded in their words regarding these subjects, because they know how we're hurting. They know how we're looking for excuses. And at the very end, they talked about this conspiratorial mass mindset that took hold before the end of Lemuria and Atlantis. And
Whoa, I got major goosebumps on that.
yes, and this is something, the work of Carl Kalaman, as you know, in the Mayan calendar, says this is cyclical. And when it happens, it creates the destruction of civilizations, and we cannot allow it to take us over at this time. We have to regain our common sense. We have to listen to our hearts. So every single thing the angel said, I'm in complete agreement with, and also I feel as absolutely need to know information.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything you wish to say? Because I know you're going to forget all this. If you remember anything now, you forget it all in a few minutes. So if there's any remnant of something there you want to continue on for a moment, fine. Otherwise, I'm going to let you go take a nap.
I hear we're good.
Good. Okay. Well, again, Belinda, thank you for listening to the angels and having them reach out to me to do this one, to facilitate for this information from them and you. And I think it's truly necessary. And this is a wonderful holiday gift for humanity. So let's both share it far and wide. How's that sound?
Sounds good, Regina.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful little nap and a wonderful weekend ahead. Okay.